In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? So basically, we started off with three main inspirational films: Inception, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Taken. Inception was Nathan's choice because we really liked the representation of the main character, Leonardo DiCaprio, and how his character was represented and the clothes he wore. So in terms of mise-en-scène, we took the grey suit idea from Leonardo DiCaprio and used it in our own film, with Nathan wearing a grey suit with a white shirt and grey tie. This gave Nathan in film character the basis of just a normal everyday working man, leaving work, stressed, undoing his tie, just normal everyday. This is quickly broken by the sudden appearance of a male in black clothing, unknown to the audience. Immediately, differences are shown between the two. Nathan in grey suit and me in dark black suit, suggesting I am the bad guy. I am the threat of the film. So immediately the audience thinks this normal everyday working man is done for. He's dead. But quickly we find out during the film that Nathan has an unknown knowledge of the use of guns as well as the threat. And it starts putting up questions for the audience like, how does he know how to use a gun? What is his past? What don't we know about this man? What don't we know about this normal everyday working man's past? The second film we used as our main inspirational films was Taken. I personally thought this was a great film and had so many various shots that we could use in our own, which we actually did in example of the torture scene. There are various similarities in between Taken and our own film. As such, the main characters both have an aim, a purpose in the whole film. Liam Nelson's aim is to save his daughter, and Nathan's aim is to basically protect himself, just to live and win against this unknown threat. During the watching of the Taken trailer, we found that the music, as it progressed, got more powerful, more captivating, which we found really, really interesting. And we wanted to find our own piece of music that could make such a dramatic feel, which Nathan actually found. And we based our whole trailer on that piece of music because it had such a powerful effect that we wanted just to get the perfect scenes to go with that piece of music. So by having this piece of music, we based our whole trailer, like I said, around this piece of music. So as the music gradually got more of a powerful effect, so did the shots in the actual trailer. The scenes gradually start speeding up, getting more action in them, and more firefights. Now, for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I particularly like the effect where, whilst watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you don't know they are both spies at the beginning. You think they're just normal, everyday people. This was interpreted with Nathan. You think he is just a normal, everyday man coming from work. Yeah. As soon as the conflict starts, you find out he has a dark past. You find out that he has a use of knowledge with the guns and is an unknown to the situation of a threat. Now, keeping Nathan's past a secret helps create the effect that the audience has to imagine what he has done in the past, how he has built up the talent and skills to use the guns. And this is used in Mr. and Mrs. Smith as well, as we don't know the full knowledge of their past. How effective is the combination of your main product and auxiliary tasks? So we felt that the combination of our main product and auxiliary tasks was a big thing. We wanted to keep the feel of consistency between them. So, for instance, with our poster, we wanted to keep the overall feel that we've worked around the same point of idea that we had at the beginning. So, for the poster, we wanted to create a unique look to our poster. We wanted to create a feel that if you saw it, you'd know immediately that's the price of redemption. And in the way we did it was, going back to Inception, the representation of the character Leonardo DiCaprio, we wanted that type of feel, we wanted that type of look. And so Nathan, right, for the photo shoots, he did a number of poses and dramatic looks, which I could then use in the editing processing to create the overall poster image. So one way I showed the idea of consistency was the color corrections. I wanted basically two main colors in both the front cover and the poster, and these colors were white and red. And the red came from actually another film I'd looked at from Gamer, in which the red highlights the main words I wanted to select. I wanted to stand out to the audience. Another form of consistency we showed was the actual form of mise-en-scène, in which the front cover was taken during the actual filming of our trailer, in which Nathan posed on a wall, which actually featured in the film as well. So this shows that Nathan is in his grey suit on the wall at the actual set where the filming was done. And through the photos we had taken, we wanted to show the representation of our genre. And through that, we wanted to attract the audiences that wanted to watch that type of genre of film, to watch gunfights, assassins, and so on, so that the audience, when looking at the poster, didn't get misled into, let's say, watching a rom-com. So one way to make sure we were keeping our photos, our poster and magazine cover on the right genre stages, we used the use of Blogger, in which we put our photos onto our own blog site, and then we got feedback from people outside the class and feedback from members of our own class as well. A good example of this is from one of our class members, Jamie, I think it was, where he actually said, "Good work, lads. I can clearly see what you're going for here." And to me and Nathan, this was a great piece of feedback, as it basically told us that we were going on the right tracks of the genre statement we wanted to make. What have you learned from your audience feedback? We received a lot of feedback from classmates and our teacher, all hinting at things we could improve on, things that weren't going the right way, things that were going the right way. And all this was done on Blogger. And this was easily accessed on the comment sections. For instance, one of the biggest turning points in our trailer planning was when Nathan and I had planned the times of each shot, how long it would take to film it, which this was in about a month into production. And our teacher basically told us that we need to take a step back and we need to plan, like just think about what we wanted in the long run. And we were going too far, we weren't thinking straight. But again, we constantly went through the feedback, and it helped us in both auxiliary and production tasks. Another source of feedback we got was from our original pitch we made to our whole class, and a brilliant source of feedback we got was because they were all meeting students. They were in the same position as us and were more than helpful to point out where we were going off, where we were going right. And so during the pitch, we stopped occasionally to see if we were going the right way, and they basically said that confusing points and the points that were being established, and overall the feedback we got was they understood the pitch, that the idea we were going for, but parts of the film was they were confusing and needed to be established more. So the original idea was basically I was going after Nathan for a $5 million bounty. This proved to be too confusing, as there were too many plot holes, like why am I going for him? What has Nathan done? Why is there a bounty? And so through the use of that feedback and the duration of constant thinking and new ideas, we gradually came to what we have now. A man seeking redemption for the past sins he has committed. How did you use media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages? So technology-wise, I did all actually of the photos, the magazine front cover, and the main poster of our film. This was all done through the use of Picasa 3 or Photoshop. And the experience I had from the previous year and other lessons such as film studies and photography, this helped so much during the actual editing processes. So while Nathan was doing the actual editing of the actual film, I was in the processing of editing the magazine cover. The magazine cover proved to be quite, let's say, difficult because I had a variety of images and I didn't know what image to put as the front cover. So I had to look into other magazine front covers, and I came across the one for Inception, in which Leonardo DiCaprio is posing with his back towards the audience. And so, looking through the photos, I found one of Nathan in a good gesture pose, and which so immediately I liked that and used it. Editing wise for the front cover, I simply sharpened the photo, cropped it, and just to make Nathan stand out more, I used a tool or effect called focal black and white, in which it keeps the colour on the main point in which I want it and creates the surrounding area black and white, which I thought was a great effect to keep all the attention on Nathan and put the text featuring like Harry Potter, etc., on the outskirts of the photo. Now, film poster wise, this proved to be extremely difficult. I created around 6 basic images of which would be our basis of our film poster, and the effects I used, I kept the color corrections of white and red. Yet this created a saw-like effect, which was the feedback we got from our teacher, and so it created like a horror genre in which we weren't aiming to go for, and so that was immediately scrapped. The other images which just seemed too basic and didn't have enough information on them, and so through many experimentations on Photoshop, I'd finally come across an image which I didn't originally think to use. I didn't get any feedback from my teacher. I didn't get any feedback from Nathan. I just went along with the experiment. Oh, and the image was of Nathan standing in a doorway with basically his face blacked out. You can see him undoing his tie, which is his signature part in the actual film, and it showed him walking out of a light room into a dark room, which to me signified him leaving his normal life and returning back to his dark field past in the dark field room. So during the processing of editing, I needed to go a step further. I needed to show like hidden messages in the poster, which I've already explained with Nathan leaving his normal everyday life and entering the dark field room. And again, this is showed with Nathan's face actually blacked out, showing his face. He's just returned. He's gone back to his dark ways. Originally, the poster was going to be of me on one side of the wall and Nathan on the opposite side of the wall, signifying dark side and the good side. But this wouldn't work, as Nathan was actually he was originally a dark person who had simply seeked a life in the normal everyday life of a normal citizen. So I used many software tools and effects such as soft focus, process shots, Polaroid shots, and we actually came to a final image before our final image was actually the final image we have now, in which Nathan's face was all disorientated and picturized into many different little images. But this image would work as the background of the image was just plain white and would not have looked good if, let's say, it was put onto big billboards. So overall, with the time given, I think I could have done a bit better with the knowledge I have now. But with the knowledge given to me at that time, I think I did the best of my abilities then. But of course, looking back now, I feel that I wish I could have done this type of effect, or I wish I could have done a better photo shoot or better location shootings, which is really frustrating. But overall, I think both editing side on my side and the editing side of Nathan was up to a certain standard in which we were both happy, yet we know there was room for more. We could have done more, but both of us lacked the initiative to knuckle down. Basically, we lacked the, the motivation to finish such better shots, better footage, which, to be honest, we couldn't actually record any more footage because during an accident in the filming of our trailer where Nathan actually broke his toe. But with the standard and with the footage we had, we were both happy with what we got, and we couldn't ask for more really.